We have had businesses an increase 39, 43%, 51 business 51% in 1 year increase in their premiums.
Insurance alone can close small businesses.
Insurance alone is preventing the growth of business here in Massachusetts, and not just here, right across the country. The Secretary of HHS on the federal level intervened in California because their large insurer in California said 39% increase for everybody across the board, and by the way, it starts next week. Well, that's just not acceptable. We've got to stop that. We've got to figure out what drives the costs of health care and how we can bring it down. But that's long-term. Short-term, we're in a crisis. We have to put something in place, even if it's for a few years, to address the impact of small businesses and allow them to be able to purchase at a much lower level.
And all of this is going to increase efficiencies overall as well for small businesses, this entire package.
Yes.
And starting immediately with consolidation, you're going to be able to offer direct supports to small businesses in a regional person that they can work with.
Absolutely, and part of the package too is extending the permits for all those developments and companies that got their permits. The bottom fell out of the economy. They've been on hold. The permits will be due to expire in maybe less than a year sometimes, maybe a full year or two. We extend those permits and keep those in place so when the economy does come back, they don't have to go through the entire bureaucratic regulatory scheme again, which costs millions of dollars.
That'll be a fantastic support for companies who have been on hold. Now, you've also, this isn't the first set of reforms and efficiencies that this legislature has already approached. Just last year, you reformed the entire transportation system within the state. Could you tell us a little bit about that as an example, how that has really increased efficiency and what savings and benefits you found from that reform?
Well, that was the second step of it. 2 years ago, or 3 years ago, we got rid of the the MDC in Boston and merged it and created the Division of Conservation Recreation. So there used to be the parks, and there used to be the urban parks, and there used to be the MDC. We consolidated those. This time we took part of DCR parkways that would be better handled by Mass Highway. And we took Mass Highway and we took the Turnpike Authority, whose brand unfortunately was destroyed because they ran a good road system, but because they were used to finance parts of the Big Dig, and the financing packages that were put in place at the time were due to expire, and the state would be on the other end of picking up all of those, or they would be going bankrupt. We stepped in, we reorganized, we added the T, we added the Highway Department, we added the Turnpike, we added Mass Aeronautics, and we pulled them all together. And we said, okay, you're one agency, Department of Transportation. You're a road agency and a transportation agency. So the administrative costs, again, would be lower because the backroom things can be all consolidated, IT can be consolidated, and that will eventually save us hundreds of millions of dollars. It's already beginning to do that. We're reorganizing the workforce. I know there's a lot of angst out there by people who worked in all those agencies, and I hope they'll just stay with us. Change is hard. Having to relocate from where you used to go in the same office building for 20 years or 10 years, and you're going to be moved to a different place. But if we didn't do that, we could have had a complete collapse of many of these systems. So it was extremely important, and to get a handle on our maintenance needs for the next 20 to 30 years, our capital needs, and our debt.
Excellent. Thank you so much. We're going to take a brief break right now, and we're going to come back to talk a little bit more about some of the other reforms before we talk about moving forward in this year's budget. Thank you for joining us with Commonwealth Update with Senate President Therese Murray.